How are you doing today, sir?
Great, Steve. Who's that on your shirt? He looks vaguely familiar.
I I I, mi-
Oh,
I might have worn this for you. I figured you'd get a kick out of it.
I
Um,
do. I
uh,
do.
Listen, man, I am a big fan of your work, and I like throwing a curveball at the beginning. You've done so many cool things in your career. If someone has actually never seen anything you've done, what is the first thing you'd like them watching and why?
Oh, I'd say, God, even though you'd say Rocky, but I think First Blood, like that'd be an introduction because you cover a lot of bases in that one.
And it's also a great movie.
Yeah, thank you. There is that.
Right. I'm curious. Everything Taylor touches turns to gold. And I'm curious, when you signed on for this, did you and Taylor talk about, hey, this could go for multiple seasons? Is that something that you're interested in?
Yeah, we did. We did touch on that because the idea is to do something. I'm a big believer since I started my career. I like sequels. I think that if you build a character, why have them disappear? Like say The Godfather, Michael, you want to see him move on. And I want the same thing with this. But the one aspect that we added in his original concept, which is great, Gangster Goes West, it was a little more serious, a little tougher. And I thought if I could throw in my personality, like because it's a little off center at times, a little irreverent, that you have a gangster who's not incredibly threatening. I mean, he can go gangster on you, but then again, he can be silly and do jokes and kind of embrace other people instead of threatening them. He goes like, he's a gatherer. He's a guy that coordinates people together. He sets up his own kind of, it's a paradigm, his own periphery of allies instead of alienating people. Even though one's a computer nerd, one sells weed, one is this guy, one is a cowboy. Eventually, you see Indians. Everyone but an Italian.
You are obviously a very talented writer director. When you're working with someone like Taylor, where the scripts are obviously, and Terence Winter, when the scripts are obviously good, are you ever tweaking anything? And part two, are you thinking about if you get to do a second season, directing any episodes?
Yeah, I was going to direct the first episode for sure, and I spoke primarily with Taylor, but more with Terry. I say, look, I understand what you're trying to convey here, but quite often I have to put it in my own words. It helps me memorize it, but also there's a certain cadence that everyone has. Like your cadence is different than my cadence, so you can write better for yourself than I can write if you have that ability. You just know what words, what vowels, what consonants to use, and so on and so forth. And that happens. So when you see some of these little ad libs and asides, that to me is what makes it. Uh, it just seems spontaneous rather than overly rehearsed.
On that note, I need to stop. I do hope you're directing an episode in season two. And again, big fan of your work. Thank you for your time.